2021, and it is our beginning of our second season of Hey Gurl, and we are thrilled that you could join us. My name is Margaret Edwardowski, and I am so fortunate to be able to get together with amazing, funny, talented women once a month here on Hey Gurl. And I have a partner in crime who makes all of this possible because I have limited technical abilities. So I am thrilled to introduce my partner in all of this. Please welcome Jessica Cooper.
Hi.
Hey girl.
Hey girl.
How are you?
I am doing good. You know,
Good.
New Year, all that stuff.
New year, new beginning.
Exactly.
Not quite the clean slate we thought we would have,
Nope.
but hey, you know.
I'll take it.
Jess and I were in a different StreamYard room than all of the guests for much of the lead up to the show tonight.
It doesn't work well like that either.
No, it doesn't. But we did get some quality time, and so I feel bonded to you.
I do too. I'm glad for that time.
Me too. Well, hey, girl, thanks for being here and everything you do for the show.
Oh, hey, girl, thank you.
So if this is your first time watching the show, A, where the hell have you been? But B, welcome. And now you're here and you can tell all your friends about this really cool thing that you found on the internet and seemed like you discovered something kind of cool. So you're welcome for that. If this is your first time joining us, this show is something that I came up with to celebrate women in comedy and acting and writing and the entertainment business in general, or creative women. And it's my opportunity. If you don't know me, I'm a playwright, author, improviser, actor. I run a arts nonprofit in the city of Detroit during the day and write all night because I love to do that. So I like to reach out to these amazing women that I know to be part of this show. And so that's why we're all here. Before I bring them on, just a couple of thoughts. I always like to start off with sort of what's going on at the time. And I wanted to take a minute to talk about marriage in a pandemic. When we first started this quarantine, pandemic life, we saw a lot of stories on the news or people mentioning it in social media about, oh, there's going to be a baby boom and everyone's going to have babies because of this. And my husband turned to me and goes, no, there's going to be a divorce boom. And I think he was kind of right. Because no, this is more than any couple should ever have to handle. We're supposed to leave the house and go to different jobs and talk to different people and have other things to talk about when you come back to the dinner table. We need 8 hours away from each other just for freshness, you know? So our vows aren't, do you take this person to love, honor, and spend every living second of every day within the same four walls with imminent death waiting for you beyond your porch? That's not what you say I do to. And what I was thinking about today was this is all very reminiscent of the play No Exit by Jean-Paul Sartre. If you're not familiar with the play, basically the idea is that hell is other people, and these three people are put together in this room in substitution for all of the tortures of hell, right? And they're just basically put there to drive each other insane for eternity. And when you read the play, you're like, oh, well, these people are specifically chosen because they push each other's buttons. But honestly, it can happen with someone you love during a pandemic, especially if they have a tendency to play videos on their phone at an 11 during family TV time. I'm looking at you, John Edwardowski. Now, speaking of family, kids in the mix make this much more difficult, right? Kids don't have the capacity to sit still ever. And if yours is anything like mine, they have a predisposition for constant sounds that are truly bizarre and really maddening. Virtual school is bonkers for anybody who's a parent or a teacher. That adds to a lot of the stress. But hopefully, if everything goes right, in the end, we make it work, right? Fighting becomes sort of like this part-time job that you get kind of good at and you punch in, you solve the problem, you punch back out. And you try not to go to bed mad because, quite honestly, tomorrow is going to be the exact same day today was. So, why not start off with a clean slate? And, I honestly don't want to die alone. So I'm going to do my best to make it happen. I'm not exactly young, so I don't like the idea of having to find someone else to hold my hand at the end of it all. But also, my husband's my best friend. And I want to come out of this with him telling our stories, boring people by, bickering at dinner parties and, sharing all we've been through together. So you make it work. Hopefully. The end. That's marriage in a pandemic. All right. Enough about how my life's going. Let's hear about the lives of 3 talented and amazing women who I adore. This month, we have 3 people originally from the Detroit scene, which makes me very excited because this is sort of a homecoming show. These women all know each other, so I think we're going to have a lot of good laughs. The first is our first returning guest ever on Hey Gurl. This is a historic moment. Respect it. She is someone I adore more than just about every other person on the planet other than that guy I was talking about. And she originally is from Grand Blanc. She's a Second City Detroit alum. She's been in LA, Chicago, Detroit, then back to Chicago, then Detroit, then LA, and then back to Chicago again. She was our producer here in Detroit. She's part of the Mama's Boy troupe, 313. Of course, Bottle of Red is our 2-woman troupe. She was a very important figure at the training center in Second City, Los Angeles. And now she's an artistic director at Second City, Chicago. She's also just dang hilarious. Please welcome Nancy Hayden. Hey, girl.
Hey, girl. Hey, girl.
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 How you doing?
No, I'm good. I'm great.
That's
That was
good.
a fantastic monologue.
Oh, thanks.
It was. Speaking of marriage and the pandemic, today is my wedding anniversary.
Shut up.
11 years.
Happy Anniversary.
11 years, baby.
Oh, I'm so
Yep.
excited for you. 11 years? That what?
I know. That Christmas winter wedding that we had. No, I mean, not you and
I remember.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I remember.
11 years ago today. That's right.
Holy cow. Well,
Mhm.
happy anniversary.
Thanks,
And
thanks,
tell
thanks.
Neil I said the same.
I will. Pandemic anniversary.
Anniversary. So, how have you been? What's the latest? Celebrating your anniversary. of course.
I broke my ankle on Thursday.
Shut it up. What?
I'm wearing a boot.
Girl, what?
Hey, girl.
Hey, girl.
Hey, girl. I can't
Girl
walk.
with the boot.
I can't walk for a couple of months.
Oh, shit.
Hey, girl.
Well, I
Yep.
guess Neil's going to have to handle those dog walks, huh?
I fell walking the dog
Yep.
down some stairs. Don't ask me how I did it because I don't know.
Okay.
Everything was fine, and the next thing I knew, I was at the bottom of a set of stairs. No, there was no ice. I wish there was.
Dang, there goes your lawsuit.
Yep. And I broke my shit, and yeah, there you go, broken ankle. 2021. What?
I mean, it's kind of one of those things. It's like when you get a good tax return and then your furnace needs fixing. Like, at least you don't have to go into work every day.
I was just oh my god, same brain. Like I was just saying that to Neil an hour ago. I was like, because they'd be like, because I have to be in the boot like non-weight bearing at all for like the next, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks. But then after that, you'd start getting from your work like, well, you can like get one of those cart things, or you've got some crutches, right? Like, come on into the office.
Yep.
Walk around the mammoth building that is Second City. But yeah, working from home is a huge blessing right now because I only have to worry about getting from the couch to the bathroom to, around in a little circle. I'm learning.
Same thing. I had a diverticulitis flare up over Christmas. I was like, well, at least I'm home already.
Oh, honey.
Yeah, let's have soup for Christmas dinner.
I'd like to say that our topic of conversation has changed over the years as we've gotten older.
Used to be so cool.
We were so cool. We were so cool. Except that every time we'd get together to go out, we'd never go out.
We just talk about what we wanted to do, and then we just get
hang out at your house,
watch TV.
TV.
Yep.
Yeah. So,
Gossip.
and got it.
Well, we'll do some of the similar things tonight.
Yeah.
With just as much energy expended. So I'm glad to have you. Thanks for coming back.
I mean, I love you to pieces.
I love you
and
so
I'm
much.
honored to be here.
Oh. Next we have joining us. Man, I love this chick too. She's so amazing and so funny and funny in a way that is always like catches me off guard. And it's not the thing I expected.
Yes, never the thing you expected. Absolutely.
Fresh and quirky. I wrote Master of Quirks. She once played a character who thought there was a saxophone. Like she's a Second City Detroit alum. She was came to us originally through the Fevered Egos troupe, but she's in Delicious. And what was the women's troupe that you did? Tiger Ride. She's been in a ton of troops. She's a Detroit staple. She's a member of the Planet Home team and now the director of the Planet team.
A certain baton has been
handed off. She's very active at Go Comedy and lots of other spaces in Detroit. She's also an instructor for the Improv Project, which you are on the board for Detroit Creativity Project, and I work for Y Arts, which both together make that program happen. And she's just cool. So please warmly welcome Lauren Becker.
I mean,
hey girl. Hey girl.
Hey girl.
Hey.
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 Your bangs are adorable. Let's just start there. So how are you, Lauren?
I'm doing all right. Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah. You're in Hamtramck, right?
I am in Hamtramck, so yeah, I'm still here. Well, I'm surrounded by Detroit, but I'm in Hamtramck.
Yes. In the midst of Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I say you're in Hamtramck because that keeps it real. Because our show is broadcast by Planet Ant, which is in Hamtramck. So you are really the most genuine of all of us tonight.
I could have actually taken my computer to the front of the building.
That would be the most I've seen of that place since March. So
yeah,
that's exciting. Well, thank you for being with us. We're going to get our third guest in here. We're very, very excited to have her here. She is an alum of the University of Michigan. I'm going to throw that out because that means a lot to a lot of people. She's also an alum of Second City Detroit and Chicago. She's in the troupe Mama's Boy and the 313. She was on Wild and Out, Whose Line Is It Anyway, Key and Peele, and like a billion other things. Also, she's super cool, and I miss her all the time, and we love her so much. Please warmly welcome Nyima Funk. Hey girl.
Hey girl. Hey girl.
Oh, hey girl.
Oh,
hey girl.
Hey girl.
Oh.
Hey girl.
Hey girl.
Hey girl.
Hey girl. Everybody. Hey girl.
Everybody.
Hey girl.
Hey girl. Hey girl.
Take it over.
One more time now. For my Jesus. Wait. What?
Oh.
Hi.
I knew tonight would be a religious experience.
Oh, yes. Oh, absolutely. It's my anniversary.
Shut up.
And I'm glad to be up because I had diverticulitis. It was great.
Oh, wow.
Broke my foot.
You're like the everything bagel of the show.
Everything. I love you, ladies.
Love you.
Oh, I love you so much.
It's good to see y'all. It's good to see anybody.
It is good to see anybody.
That's
Margaret.
one of my guilty things about this show is I'm like, honestly, I feel like I just wanted to talk to the people that I had on here, but now we'll just put it out for everybody to see because they'll probably think it's funny.
Hopefully. Yes.
So don't fuck it up, you guys. Okay. Otherwise, it's just embarrassing that we think we're that interesting.
I froze.
You froze. Nyima, how are you?
I'm great. I'm fantastic. Life is good. We are secluded in our quarantine home, which I won't give the address out for because I did that last time and people tried to come here and quarantine with us. And it came out all wrong.
That can be awkward. We'll say somewhere in California, yeah?
Sure.
Or is that more than you want to say?
I'm in Hamtramck. Homegrown, baby. Somebody had to be here.
I mean,
No,
you're just trying to be more real than Lauren, all right?
yeah.
She's like, oh, I'm double Hamtramck. I'm actually in the capital of Hamtramck.
I'm in the Ham neighborhood of Hamtramck.
Right. I'm in Polish Village.
Hamtramck Boulevard.
I am currently folding pierogi over here on a workstation. I just saw an Instagram ad today, for real, an Instagram ad today for candles that smell like punchkis.
No, they don't.
Yep. Yep. I wish I had taken a screenshot of it because now, I mean, they said they do. But what flavor and like what, how?
Prune.
I'm gonna need a lot more. For sure, prune. If you're gonna make a pierogi, I mean a punchki candle, it's gonna be prune. Sure.
So you're gonna make a candle that smells like a donut that people eat one day a year.
That makes me feel guilty.
Thing.
That's weird.
I was just about to say I'm going to see if I can find it, but I would literally spend the whole show looking through my guarantee.
No, never heard from her again.
No, that one smells like pizza. No.
Nothing for 17 minutes, and then I'm like, I found it. Never mind.
All right, let's do a quick check-in on our creative lives. I want to start with Lauren. Are you working on anything? You writing anything? I know you're doing shows on Monday nights. What are you up to?
Yeah, the main thing is shows on Monday nights. I spent like the bulk of the beginning of the pandemic, like early on, like kind of being like, oh, I don't want to do anything. Like,
Word.
it was sort of like, oh, I have all this time to create. I should be using it. But I was like, I just was not motivated. And now I feel like remotivated, if you know, and but I haven't necessarily started a big project. So I'm just
a show title, Remotivated.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm doing the Monday nights, teaching a new sketch class that just started this past Tuesday. So
nice. These things are all through Planet Ant, by the way, for anybody who's not familiar. The home team plays on Monday nights. And then is your class through Planet Ant as well, Laura?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And are people still able to sign up for that?
Lauren's class. She's
Lauren's class. Amazing.
It smells like a candle. It's really good.
And every registration comes with a free punchki candle.
No, it started, so I think registration is done. I mean, you know, if you really want to get in there, I can maybe, you know.
Pull a string, Lauren.
I
do know
that's a slippery slope, Lauren. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't be letting just anybody in there.
Nyima knows people showed up at her house for quarantine.
That's right.
Don't make promises.
That's right.
They're my kids. Boom.
While we're there, Nyima, why don't you tell us what you're up to creatively?
Creatively, life is very, very good. You know, Joshua and I just recorded in the last week. We recorded a song that my aunt wrote in the 1980s about Martin Luther King. The Battle of Martin Luther King. And I started singing it when I was like 8. And my brother works for the Ann Arbor Public Schools, and he said, can you just make a quick recording of it? And so Funk and I recorded it very quickly, and they've used it for all of the classes. Like, people are hearing my name, and my son's teacher played it, and Moses was like, Mom, they said they're going to play your song later on, so
is he already 14?
Yeah.
So like
pretty much.
Mom.
Pretty much. You should
so that was fun.
That's cool.
That's
so
amazing.
we're sticking my head in a box.
That's a huge.
That didn't sound right.
I mean,
yeah, okay. It's a box. I'm sticking my head in a box.
I'm not gonna lie.
Sticking your head in a box.
Yeah, you know, like it's like a tent thing that they sit you so that it's like a soundproof thing, but it's
Mm-hmm.
it's like those old timey hair dryers that ladies used to sit under.
With a hose, coming out.
The big thing with the hose.
Yeah, the helium thing, and they'd sit there pretending like they could hear each other talking. I can hear you, Cindy. Yeah.
Really quickly, just an update. Ann Lair, who's a good friend of ours, who used to be Ann Faba. I believe was the one who told us that the candle Nancy was talking about is on the Pure Detroit Instagram account.
I knew it was real. I knew it was real. I knew it was real, and I didn't dream it.
It is a real thing.
I didn't believe you. I bet against you, Nancy. I'm sorry. You're lying.
Well, real. You know, she left Los Angeles, so I understand any bitterness about that.
I mean,
you know, might make you
a little.
Shit. Oh yeah, no, sorry.
What? Me too.
Oh,
no, she deserves an award. This bitch moved during a pandemic cross country.
That's tight.
Yep.
I'm telling you. So you recorded the song, you put your head in a box. Anything else you'd like to share about your creative life?
Margaret to just
no, these are exciting things. I didn't want to cut you off with the candle thing and not, you know, if there was anything else.
I make candles. I can make a candle. I can make a candle. What you want?
I'll punch it up.
I can punch ski. Shoot, you didn't polish until you polished off a punch ski.
Well, I look forward to seeing your candles, and I super legitimately want to hear the song. So if there's any way for people to hear it, you know, let us know. We'll put out after the fact. You know, often people will send us stuff, and we'll put it on the Hey Girl site. So if you have a link or something, you can send it to me, and we'll put that up.
I have a link.
I have a link.
Drop the link.
A link.
Drop a link.
I'm learning these things about engaging people via social media. As a Gen Xer, this is all new to me. So after the last show, or a couple shows ago, we had Celeste on, and she was talking about her paintings, and then I had her send some paintings. I put them up, and people were like really engaging with it. And I was like, oh, this is how social media works. Cool.
That's great. Her paintings smell like pierogies.
They smell like pierogies. They do.
They do indeed.
They do. Nancy, what are you up to?
I have been writing a very dynamic and exciting new pilot called Quarantines. And it's about 4 teenagers that move into Nyima's house. Yeah. And then he and Josh have to raise them.
Yes.
And it's coming to WB next fall.
Yes. WB? Oh.
We're bringing back the WB.
Oh, yeah. They'll take anything.
Yep. It's going to be hanging with Mr. Cooper and then Nyima and Josh's show Quarantine at 2:30 a.m. Quarantine.
You ain't doing nothing. You say, Mama Ann. Yes.
Listen, I'm just trying to get my groceries delivered, and no, I'm doing a little bit of writing. I've been doing some voiceover stuff, and then I've been working with Joshua a lot, Nyima's handsome pal of ours, husband.
Yes.
Who's the artistic director of the Second City Hollywood. And luckily he and I get to work together all the time. And we've been writing a lot of curriculum and a lot of fun things we've been working together on.
I believe it's curriculi.
And syllabi.
You know what's weird, Nancy, is you're in the next room. You'll be in the next room having meetings or talking with Joshua, and I kind of am around, but I have to pretend like my girl's not there. Like, it's weird because I don't want to eavesdrop.
I should just start sending messages to you straight through. It would make those meetings a lot more fun. I mean, nothing against Josh, but we sit in a lot of meetings together.
Lauren has seen this, but my whole staff at work are the improv project teachers, which includes Lauren and Rico and Quentin and all these people, and Mike McGettigan, all these people that we know. So when we have staff meetings, like my husband always makes cameos. My kid wants to wave at all of them. We had a workshop with John Hildreth, and then John showed up with Tubbies and was like talking to everybody. I'm like, this is work. This is actual work. Like,
I mean, but Tubbies is always a reason to interrupt anything.
Tubbies,
I miss Tubbies.
Yes.
Tubbies, submarine.
I miss me some Tubbies, y'all.
There's no substitute. There ain't no substitute for Tubbies.
There ain't no
Tubbies are legally blind. Submarines. There's no substitution.
Ain't no substitute.
I'm never going to hear that song the same way.
They're so angry.
Hey,
Why are they
Tubbies.
so
I
angry?
got real aggressive on that second
Oh,
break.
No substitute.
All right. Now, this is one for the group. Thank you, Nancy. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm always excited to hear that people are able to do stuff during this pandemic. You know, I know, like Lauren said at the beginning, I had the same thing where it was like,
Yeah.
my brain is too busy worrying about imminent death.
Yeah, I didn't write for
I can't
months.
do anything.
Really, until the move was done. Then I started breaking through it a little bit. But like, yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't write for a really long time in the beginning. Like nothing. And I haven't been able to read either. Like I sit
That
down
I
to
have not been
read,
able to do.
and my brain just wanders, and I really miss it. I decided I was finally going to read Little Women, which is, at least on my phone, it's
Why?
2,300 pages long. And I'm
Why?
like halfway through it, and I've been, why? Why would you
Why?
do
What happened?
Why?
You don't have to do that.
I mean, what's distracting us, Nyima? You know what? Why don't we go back in the green room? I've got something to share with you about what's been going on since March. What? That'd be great if she was just so like,
she didn't know anything about it.
Didn't know.
she didn't know what was up.
I don't leave the house anyway. Josh does the shopping. I mean, they've been sick a lot anyway, so they've been home. Always.
We all find out that we've been doing quarantine for COVID, and Nyima's just living in like a Kimmy Schmidt friggin' lockdown situation.
Perfectly happy. Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, I haven't been able to read either. I totally get that.
I miss it.
And there was
I
something.
try to every night. Then
I know. Yeah, I miss that getting lost in a book feeling. I just can't let my mind go there yet.
I know.
But okay, so in your career, whether it be in the Second City days or beyond, here's what I want to hear. What scene pitches or ideas that you had or were party to do you wish had made the show?
Oh.
What are the sad rejects that you're like, oh, that was so good? I can start if you need a second to think about it.
I mean, all my shit made the show. Everything.
You dude.
Ding, ding, ding. There's your answer.
What do you mean? Like, didn't it?
You mean like stuff doesn't make the show?
Didn't have something in the show.
I wasn't part of this process, but I think about this all the time, and I don't think they could have run it, but God, I wish they had. That Kirk Hanley bit about Gyno Slim, when it's like a diet plan, and he's like, I've lost all this weight due to Gyno Slim. Now, you got to know that Kirk Hanley is like this really mild-mannered, unassuming guy, and then he would say, well, I just have pussy for breakfast, pussy for lunch, and a sensible dinner. I feel great, and my wife has never been happier.
Yeah.
Thanks, Gyno Slim. Best bit ever.
That was a fantastic bit. Yeah, I used to love to make Kirk say everything like as the most raucous things I possibly could. That was one of my favorite things to do.
Oh, so do you have any of those where you're like, oof, man, that was a good one. I don't know why it didn't, but I wish it did. Or any that you're like, no, that was really good that got cut. That was not not worthy.
Dang, did I? I don't think so, man. Everything I did was golden.
Double down, woman.
Even stuff I did that I didn't even like, they put in.
You would just hand it off to somebody and be like, I don't need this.
Like,
do you
it's not even done yet? And they're like, it's going in the show tonight.
Tonight. Do it now. Do it.
I do remember, speaking of the Josh Funk train that we've all been on tonight, I do remember a scene that he and I used to try to get in the show probably 2 or 3 shows in a row because we were both musical theater majors in college. And it was a scene, I probably told you about this before, Margaret, where he was my best friend, and he was out in my yard, and he was super upset and he wouldn't come in my house. And the scene always started with him sitting on the stage with his legs tucked underneath him, singing Castle on a Cloud from Les Mis. And then I would throw open the windows and be like, "What are you doing? You're making a scene!" And that was always like, and we were just these two dramatic. It was totally the scene that you and I were.
That's so good.
It was like I was doing it with him because I didn't have you yet, and it was just sort of this, like, we were just these theater nerd kids who just got in a huge fight, and then the director would be like,
so good.
"Oh, what's it about?"
Like, I don't care.
It's about
Me.
Yeah, and we never had any. That's why I had never made the show, because to this day I couldn't tell you what that scene was about. But we probably pitched it 3 processes in a row.
Oh, I love that.
You know, when I pitched it, it got in the show. It was great.
It was like,
Now,
oh,
see,
yeah,
now I have so much regret because I should have just handed the scenes I wanted to get in to Nyima, and then
they were in there.
No, I remember putting in an incredible amount of work on a song in the ETC, and just the work alone, I memorized. This is so stupid. I memorized the capital of every state.
Whoa.
So, like, somebody would go out and, like, as part of a song, I'm so mad because it was just a waste of time. Like, be like, "Hey, sir, you know, what state are you from?" And, you know, they'd be like, you know, whatever, Michigan. And so at some point I'd come out and like, "It's Michigan, the capital's Lansing." You know, and
you would just make a song, their capital?
It was a make a song. I mean, that was just like one little detail that I had to drop in, but I had to memorize. It was Ron West, you know, Ron West.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I spent all that time.
Nyima, could you memorize all of the capitals by tomorrow?
Yes, I can. Yes, I absolutely can. Yeah, sure.
Have you? Yeah. Yeah, and for some reason you do it for him. Like, there were a lot of other directors you'd be like, "What?"
Yeah.
Like, he made us run for like 40 minutes to do that detour scene, and we're like, "Okay."
Detour. Oh, that was
Detour. I remember that.
Hey, Lauren, do you have any?
I was just gonna jump on. I want to hear what Lauren has to say, but I was just gonna ask her about one.
Oh yeah, do it.
I was just gonna. Do you remember when we did Code Foxy Man Down and that freaking fight scene? That, speaking of a scene that I didn't think was gonna make a show, we did a slow motion fight scene set to Barracuda. And
you don't have to remind me.
We weren't fighting.
I loved that scene.
But they were fighting fake people, so we had to like choreograph the whole thing of like, and then you throw this punch, and then there's this guy's over here, and then and it was like just a whole brawl of fake dudes that weren't there. I did not think that was going to work, but they made it work because they were brilliant. Who else was in that show? Anne, are you still watching?
Oh yeah, Anne was in that show. I can remember working on the choreography for that, or trying to develop choreography. Yes. And I remember doing some kind of, trying to do a slow motion jump kick, which is impossible. I remember landing it, and Kara was like, "I don't think you think you look like what, or I don't think you look like what you think you look like."
I don't think that word means
You're probably right.
Means.
Yeah. It was delicious.
Dang, that's great. That's
all I know is I saw that show. I was in the audience, and as soon as I heard gung 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 gung, and then they started to fight, I literally stood and went, "Yeah!"
I remember I was driving. Yes, I was driving down 8 Mile, coming home. Probably from Second City Novi or something. When else would I have been coming across 8 Mile? And that song came on the radio. And I remember the moment that I was like, "Oh, that's the song. That's the song for the fight." Like, it was so exciting. Yeah, I feel like that's all I will ever think of for the rest of my life when I hear that song, which is a rad song, by the way. Like,
oh yeah.
It's my kid's favorite song.
Thanks. No, really?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's way up there. You'd be like, "What song you want to hear?" "I want to hear Barracuda."
Oh, I love that.
Oh yeah. So you see this vibe that we have, right? Being together, and all of the people that we love that we do or don't get to work with and see, that bond that we have. What do you think it is about Detroit's scene and this family thing that we have that makes it so special? Because it's like family plus almost, you know? What do you think it is? Anybody can start.
I will say that for me, there was no, you didn't want me to start? No.
Anybody but Nyima can start, because her stuff's going to get in anyway.
Yeah, her stuff will get in.
For me, I was safe indoors in Detroit. On the outside, there was crime. The lights would get shut off. Remember that, Margaret, were you there that night? We were rehearsing with Gelman, I think, or somebody. It was after a show. It was like, I don't know, 12:30, and they just shut down all the lights in Detroit.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
we're done. Good night.
Yep.
And we persevered because we didn't know to complain. And we like brought in our own ticket sales because that's what we did. There was a safeness behind those doors where you could create and laugh and be heard in a way that you couldn't be once you walked out on the street.
And in other theaters too. Like
Yes.
it was, I would definitely say from the Second City angle, I tell people this all the time. People ask me, they would ask me in LA, especially all the time, how are you all so tight? Like, how are all you Detroiters, all you Second City Detroit people run so deep and you're so tight? And I think it's because we didn't have any reason to compete with one another while we were there. You know, like once that seal was broken and we were going to move on and go someplace else, then maybe that's when we started thinking about our own careers and our individuality. But at the time when we were there, all we thought about was just making funny together and just creating together. And I think that got amplified by 1,000 when we started the home team at the Ant, because then it was like, you know, we're the only nerds in town who do improv on their one night off. Improv. But like once we started the home team, it was like, well, you know, Second City, that's our job, and you know, but the Ant is our heart, you know. And
Nancy, that quality of it's our night off, let's
go play together.
We would do the Tuesday movie day thing. Like, we have Tuesdays off. Let's make a movie and show it to people on Wednesday.
Right.
Oh, like, people in Chicago were like, we don't really want to see it. Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Sorry, but did you? Lauren, what did you think?
I mean, kind of echoing, just I think it's a combination of, I mean, well, the scene has changed over the years, of course, without a Second City here and having that kind of base. But I think even when the Second City was here, you had like we've always had a mix of like of people that are pursuing this as a career, but also a lot of people that are just doing it because they love to do it. And are kind of joining it because they want to be a part of a community. And even like the people that are here that are like career oriented with it are, you know, it's like you're in Detroit, you're not going to like make it big in Detroit. So like you're here like enjoying the other people that you're working with. And so
and the
I
work
kind
is what matters. The work matters more than your career, because it's not a career, it's the work. It's
yeah, definitely.
I think about so many different shows that we all did, and like just what an insanely creative time that was, like in the late 90s, early 2000s, of like, you're right, Nyima, like, we've got a day off, let's make a freaking movie. Like, we just were creating all the time.
Yes.
And there was rehearsal schedules at Planet Ant that were like, okay, after the set at Second City, we'll start rehearsal at 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah, we did that. You know, we did that when we did the weekend. Remember, Lauren? Because Timmy and Sam, it was Tim, Sam, Lauren, and Mike McGettigan and Robin. And Timmy and Sam were both on the main stage in Novi. I don't know, but for some reason, we always had to start like after Second City shows. So that's how we came up with the Rapin' Hour. Remember?
It's the Rapin' Hour.
Because we would have rehearsal at the Ant from like 11 to 3 or something ridiculous, like 11 to 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. And we walked outside one night and it was all like foggy and super quiet. And McGettigan was like, the Rapin' Hour.
Oh.
That reminds me, Naeem, do you remember we would talk about 320? Like 420 meant something, but 320 was booty call time.
Yes.
If you worked at Second City.
420, yes, right.
You're like, well, I'm done working at like 2:30. By the time I get home, take a shower, and you come over at 3:20.
I'll call a cab, they won't come, so I'll walk. If I get there. No, can I say my first original show that I worked on was with you, Nancy. It was Blah Blah Sisterhood.
Blah Blah Sisterhood.
And you didn't, I didn't know any other way to work. You were just like, hey, who's got ideas? Let's all share them. Let's sit down and create together. That was it.
Kind of idiot wouldn't let you guys go.
Right? I mean, the stuff you let us put up, man.
Well, they told me your stuff had to go into the show or I was fired.
Right? Everything.
Now, Nancy. Oh, sorry. Now, Nancy.
Yeah.
You actually created the most perfect segue into a pre-set question that we had from Victor, who has been a longtime friend of the Ant.
Oh, I met Victor. Victor's my boy.
Hi, Victor.
Right? Victor. So he had asked about the weekend. Can you believe
No,
it?
you're kidding me.
No, I mean it. And he wanted to just ask if you guys had any anecdotes about it. But also, Nancy, did the movie Equinox have an influence on your direction of that? Have you ever seen the movie Equinox? Be specific.
I would sound so much more smart if I said yes, wouldn't I? No,
You worked with The Weeknd? You worked with The Weeknd, the singer?
It was my it was, you know what it was? It was my M. Night Shyamalan.
It was.
Because I called myself N. Maureen Hayden on the poster. So I knew that I wanted to do an M. Night Shyamalan send up, but I had no idea. And again, let me just first of all say that anything good I've ever directed, including Blah Blah Sisterhood or The Weeknd, is because it's 99% casting and you put the damn right people together and then you just let them go. Like the incredible women that were in Blah Blah Sisterhood and the cast we just named from The Weeknd. So you know how we would do those shows at the Ant. For that one, I did have a rough idea of the type of show, but from there it was, I mean, Lauren, you know, we just discovered it and found it. The scene from that show that I will never forget was, do you remember the scene that was totally in the dark when Lauren and Timmy were laying in their sleeping bag together? Mm-hmm. You won't go to sleep. And like, I just wanted to find out how long I could leave all the lights on in the theater. And like, I just was like, I think another minute. I think another minute. I think it could be 7 minutes. I think we can push it to 7. Like, I just wanted to know how long we could have no lights up. And Lauren was just trying to sleep, and Tim just
was there a movie that kept moving or kept bugging her or something?
Oh yeah,
right?
it was Ranka. Like he did that over and over. I mean, and I laughed every time until the opening night, I think, because it was just like Timmy in your ear, like Ranka. And well, I mean, I can't say
Veronica. Yeah, and then there's also a scene from that Neil and I were just talking about this recently, where McGettigan and Tim and Sam, I think, kind of get into a debate about the difference between a berm and an escarpment. And then, because Mike was like the creepy groundskeeper guy, and he comes upon them at their campfire, and they get into this whole, he's telling this spooky story, and he's trying to scare them like he's a murderer, and Tim like gets hung up on what's the difference between a berm and an escarpment. And we were watching something recently and they said the word escarpment. And again, it's like my barracuda. It's like, I'll never hear that word the rest of my life without thinking of Mike McGettigan and Tim Robinson and laughing.
Like in the Ant, there was always a moment like that in every show where it's like the stream of consciousness, like actor writer moment. Cause there was like, it was always like when you're waiting for something else that's about to happen and they're like, characters are just kind of filling time. What I'm thinking of is Ball and Chain Gang. There was this whole thing of like, well, what do you call a group of ninjas? It's a gaggle, right? Isn't it a gaggle of ninjas? Like they just, you know, it's just actors talking.
It was so loosely creative there. Like we used to put up shows and nobody would come in the audience. And then remember I think we were doing 555, or maybe it was, no, I think it was, what was the best of called?
Anthology.
3 people showed up. And so we were going to cancel the show, and they had seen it before, and they were like, okay, we don't mind if you cancel, but will you do these 3 scenes? Do you remember that, Margaret?
Yes.
And we came downstairs and we did 3 scenes from the show. Like the audience, the 3 people who showed up got to pick their 3 favorite scenes from the show.
I think that was the same run where a light fell on a guy's head right before intermission. And then we were like, the lights came down for intermission, and then the song Accidents Will Happen came on as part of the intermission.
Yeah. I do not remember that.
I have like 40 other questions written down, but if you can believe it, we are already at our Ally Awards.
Oh boy.
Honestly, you know, if people would watch it, this show should be like 4 hours because it goes by too fast.
Yeah. Can I say one more thing about the Detroit thing?
Yeah, please.
When I came on the Detroit scene, it was also a cool thing of like, we're doing our show at Second City. When the show's over, we're going over to watch this band called Park.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Together, and everybody supported everybody.
Mm-hmm.
That was
what I'm saying.
Such a cool vibe of we're all going to do this. We're all going to go play feather bowling, or and that was wonderful.
Yeah.
There's also a toughness to all of us from Detroit where we can have a rehearsal at 1:30 in the morning and laugh and all that good stuff, but what's going to come out of it is golden.
Mm-hmm.
And that I just want to say I love you guys.
Me too. Well, I always think about the fact that, like, the Detroit we were in and creating in wasn't what it is now. Very sort of polished up and expensive to live in.
I can't imagine.
We grew up being the butt of the joke. Like, people would shit on Detroit in movies and TV, and we're going to send you to Detroit, ha ha ha, and even within our own region, right? So we had this sort of collective underdog-ism, and together writing about our city that we loved, and that really bonded us. So I think it was one of those, like, fucking say something about Detroit, say it to my face.
Rising,
right.
All of us, these little, rising from the ashes.
Which is why we all have each other's backs. Like that's the full circle answer of the LA question. When people are like, "You guys you run so deep," because when I see anybody I know from Detroit in any room that I'm in, anywhere else, there's just that instantaneous like got your back thing.
Yeah.
Right. Got your back, and you better be good. I only got your back if you're good. Don't mess me up.
I mean, I'm not gonna get your back if I'm your bad. Right. But then that's another weird thing. Like, George Bernius said 90s Detroit. George. Happy belated birthday, George.
This year, George, didn't George just have a birthday, or somebody did?
He did. It was yesterday, I think.
Oh, good.
And Jean Parker, who's a Detroit alum, and she said she wants another hour, and boy, don't we as well.
We'll do this.
Hey, you remember that guy who would at Second City, there would be like a vacant lot right up the street, and they'd pretend to be like parking cars and
yes. Yes.
Those guys would be like, $7. Okay.
Right. They would find like a construction vest from somewhere and put it on. But that's the thing, like, we are industrious. And I think that's what you were talking about, Nyima, is like, because I was having a flashback, Aurora from Second City Toronto was on, and I was telling her I had a flashback of when we took that trip to Second City Toronto, cast from Detroit, and we came into their set, kicked the door down, and we're like, "Move, get out of the way."
Ambassador Bridge.
Oh my God, God bless them. They were so nice. No surprise, they're Canadian. But we were like, "Your set is ours now. All your base belonged to us." We were like,
"Oh, we didn't know any better. We didn't know any better. We didn't know."
All right, we have some awards to give out. If you are watching for the first time, sorry, Jess, I know you put that up earlier and then we got on a tangent. If you are watching for the first time on Hey Girl, we give out the Ally Awards to people who may or may not be watching and who will may or may not ever know that they have been honored. But it can be a very moving experience for us to hold up people that held us up. So this is our opportunity to say a thank you to someone who was an ally to us in career, life, relationships, whatever it takes. So Nancy, why don't you start us off and give us your Ally Award?
Well, I misread this and I thought it was the Ally Awards.
Okay. So is it McNeil or
Ally McGraw?
Okay.
For her heart-ending turn in
It's going to be Ally McNeil.
Love Story. No. Okay, so you know what? This is funny because the first time I did this show, we talked about the guys that we worked with at Second City back in the day, and like, let's give a shout out to the boys. And I thought that was really lovely. And then this time I was like, man, I could literally name every woman that I've worked with. I could name all three of you, like thinking of the people who support you. I'm like, how do I pick between, you know, the Mama's Boy girls, for example? How do I pick between Nyima and Mary Beth and Jamie and Amy? How do I pick between Margaret and Lauren and Kara and Denise and all the incredible Jen and all the amazing women we know? So then I was like, you know, outside of your career, the people who hold you up the most, I think, are your family. So I've decided to give my ally award to my sister.
I'm gonna cry.
Oh, from us in Ireland. That's me and my sister Maggie in Ireland.
Oh, my Gaggy.
Because my sister is the second person I call when I get any business good news. After Neil and I have a little celebration, the next thing I do is call my sister. And all of the time that I was in LA and like working in writers' rooms and not working in writers' rooms that I wanted to get in, and then celebrating that I got in other ones and all of this stuff and blah, like she totally took that entire roller coaster ride with me. And she's always said that she's like the normal one, you know? So I remember her saying to me, like, this business is just so heartbreaking. I don't know how you do this. Oh my God, she was just so overwhelmed, but so genuinely happy and supportive. And, you know, it's crazy how close you get with, I mean, Margaret, you know, you have 5 of them. It's crazy how close you get to your sister, you know, in midlife, early to midlife.
Yeah.
And as these years go on, she truly, outside of my husband, you know, she truly is like my best friend on earth. So shout out to you, Maggie Stevenson.
Oh, Maggie Stevenson.
I love you.
We love her.
You're my biggest gal ally.
That's very
Oh, that was a good one. Good job, Nancy. All right, Miss Lauren, who is your ally that you want to honor tonight?
All right, the ally I would like to honor, and I can echo what Nancy said. Like, there's like when I first was thinking about it, I was like way overthinking it, and I was like, there's so many people, like, and I was like having a hard time, like, how do I pick just one? But then I was like, I know which one, and it's Kara Troutman.
Yeah.
Oh, I was hoping you were going to say that.
That's what I would have picked for you.
You two are magic together. Just magic together.
Yes.
Well, Kara and I actually started improvising on the exact same day. We did not know each other, but we signed up for the same level A at Second City. And I was just thinking about like just my formative years of improvising, and like I don't know if I would have gotten anywhere near as far as I ever did, because if I didn't have her, because like we just instantly, like, I mean, our class bonded, but we bonded, and like we would like go to all the shows. We would go to all the main stage shows and all the touring company shows, and we auditioned, you know, the first time together. And it's like those are things that like I don't know if I would have necessarily done had I just, you know, when I started taking classes, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. You know, like I wasn't thinking that I was going to like have a career, or like, I thought I was going to hate it, you know, like, so it was like, not only did I love it, I loved my class. And then I, you know, had this person that like, we were both kind of like propelling each other. And like, we started our first troupe together. And then, you know, and like, we have a 2-person troupe that for some reason took us like 6 to 7 years into our relationship together to create, but now has been 13 years that we've, you know, had our 2-person, but like that's she's my favorite person to improvise with, you know, like when I get on stage with Doublelicious, it's like I always know it's going to be super fucking weird and super fucking fun. Like I always know she's got my back, like holy. So
you
Kara,
guys
I love you.
so well. You play together.
Congratulations,
so well.
Kara.
Oh,
You have won an ally.
We love you.
We love you, Kara.
Love you, Kara. Congratulations on your award.
Congratulations. Expect
On your
nothing in the
Ally
mail.
award.
All right, Ms. Naima.
Well,
Who would you like to honor tonight?
just like you guys, I thought about all of you ladies, and I was like, boy, that's just a mean thing to do, Margaret. Like, I can't choose Nancy. I have to choose you. Like,
Who's your best
didn't ask me on the show,
Pick between us.
right? Did you like better? One of the reasons why I love y'all ladies is because we can be apart for however long and come back together through a text or, you know, and time has, there's been no time. You guys are, it's lovely. But my award also goes to my sister, my older sister, Kiana, who is my very best friend. And it goes to her because she is courageous. My beautiful older sister is donating her kidney to my father at the end of this month. And that is a gift that is so wonderful and so perfect and so special, and it means so much to so many people. You rarely know in advance that you're going to be able to save someone's life, and I love you so much for that.
Wow.
That's amazing.
So inspiring. Oh, Kiana. Congratulations on your Ally Award and also for being an amazing human being.
Amazing, Kiana.
Yeah. That's pretty.
Pick up your game, Maggie. Pick up your game.
I know. Maggie needs to shut the fuck up.
Pick up your game, Maggie.
Because, I mean, taking good news on the phone is nothing compared to giving a kidney. To be honest.
Oh man.
Yes, but no, we've always known her to be this really smart, successful, cool, fun, beautiful person. And now on top
had her act together when none of us had our act
Oh
together.
yeah, she's always.
thanks for making it really hard to be a regular person on Earth, Kiana.
But Kiana loves watching us, and
She does.
Feels she loves anybody at the top of their game, and because she's at the top of her game. In fact, she retired. She's no longer a lawyer for Ford. She retired a couple years ago, and she's a stay-at-home mother, and she's fabulous at it. And it's funny because we make decisions like that, and a few years later, that's actually putting her in the perfect position to be able to do this surgery. But she always, I mean, the Second City, Detroit is, you know, like, you guys are so funny, Margaret and Nancy, and Margaret and Nancy. I think they think you're the same person. And Margaret and
Nancy used to.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you worked at Circuit City.
Circuit City. Oh.
Circuit City.
Circuit City girl.
Oh, that's right. No, but the funny thing about doing those shows is we really did get to know each other's families from not openings, but, you know, they would bring their friends, or mine would bring, you know, priest from church and their, you know, church friends or whatever. But so that even added to that family vibe too, right?
Absolutely.
Like Keegan's mom called me for something to donate to somewhere, and then we ended up talking for like an hour, and I was like, this is family, you know, these so your story was like doubly moving because we know these folks, you know.
Yes, thank you.
Two sisters and Kara, who's essentially your sister, Lauren.
Right.
So it's sister night.
Sister night. Yay.
I love it.
Great. Now I have to give out 5 of them.
Yeah, you better get going on looking some. You got 5 awards to give away.
Oh, I don't give any out anymore. I gave one to Warzeka the first night, and then I was like, nobody cares what I think.
No, I'm not giving out Ally awards.
And mine again this week. Another. Just let me do a real quick Ally award, Margaret. Please.
Do you know what I think is funny though? It's like initially when I thought of that segment for this show, I thought, well, it's a show celebrating women, so why don't we say something nice about men? So like Nancy said, it was initially set up to be like, what guys are not assholes and like deserve a little recognition for like being okay. But since it became whoever, there have been some really moving stories that we would have missed out, I think, if, you know, like all of the ones tonight. So that was really we have a couple of minutes left. If there are any exciting things coming up that you want to promote, or places you want to plug for donations or books you want to sell or whatever. Nyima, do you have anything you want to plug?
Books? No. Hey, I'm going to be on, whose line is it anyway? On the 5th of February.
Yeah.
They went back and cut together new episodes from footage I shot 8 years ago.
Wow.
Damn. Like, we need to send you a check. We put together some episodes using old footage. I'm like,
I'm fine with it.
I'm like, this feels like a hustle, but go ahead.
I love that.
It's a great feeling. It's yeah.
Fantastic.
So that's what I don't know what station. I don't know. It's on TV.
CW, is that a station? I don't have cable anymore, so I don't know.
The LBC.
Lauren, Nancy, anything you want to share? Anything you want to plug or get donations for?
I told Jess that I'm pretty excited to improvise with my best friend on February 1st. Margaret and I are going to do Bottle of Red.
We are.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that because I don't think I put it in my calendar yet.
On the home team
Margaret was
show.
straight up like,
Aw, Girl, we got a
Girl.
2 weeks.
girl. Hey, girl.
Hey, girl. Are you going to be there? Yeah,
I'll be there.
February 1st, we're going to open for the home team, and I'm excited.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Lauren,
very
anything
excited
else
about
you want to share?
I'm excited about that. Yeah, and I get ongoing every Monday home team show. Tomorrow, the home team's also playing with Snowed In. Before called Snow Day, but now it's called Snowed In because we're snowed in. But the 24-hour, I don't know if it's technically 24 hours, but we're only doing 30 minutes. 30 minutes of improv. And it's for a good cause.
Pause.
I
I'll
am
be
gutted
there.
to say we are nearing the end of our time together.
Oh.
What a thrill to have all three of you super talented, smart, fabulous, beautiful ladies
Aw.
with me tonight. I wish I could see each of you each and every day. And I'm glad that we got to signal boost how amazing you are. So thank you, Nancy. Thank you, Lauren. Thank you, Naima, for being here.
Thank you, Margaret, for doing this.
Margaret.
Well,
Thank
and
you,
thanks
Margaret.
everybody out there who watched. We will see you in a month. February 20th is our next show, and we have some great guests lined up. We even have March already lined up, so we will see you.
Wait. Margaret's birthday is on the 23rd.
1, 2,
Birthday.
3. 1, 2,
1, 2,
3.
3.
Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to Margaret. That was another song that I got in the show. It was weird. I just Who has a birthday? Anybody know you?
Not as big
Margaret.
road. Happy birthday.
I'm going to send you a punch key candle.
Thank you. When you see us next, I will be 1 year older. Thanks to all these beautiful folks, and thanks for everybody who watched tonight. Hey, girl.
Hey,
Night, night.
Hey, girl.